Hello everyone. Hello all my joyful creators. It is so good to be back. Before I go any further, I've got our faithful little friend, our little ladybug, and let's go ahead and set our timer for 1 hour. And we've got her ticking. I have missed you. I appreciate all of your patience and understanding as I did take some time off to focus on my recovery, which is going very well. The wound is healing nicely, and we have gone from packing it with honey to something called Prisma, which is like a foam that when it dissolves, it helps put collagen in the wound. And now we're doing pomegranate. So yeah, we have a lot of progress going on there that I'm thankful for. And the leg is getting stronger, not as strong in some areas that I would like, but you know, hopefully before too long we'll be able to start doing some transitioning. And I have a good bit of feeling back, not quite all of it, but I have a good bit. So there's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel. And I've had a few things on my hook that I've been working on at my pace. Some days I don't get to crochet just due to being tired or, you know, just having to take it easy. But let me show you something that I have been working on. First, I'm going to show you the yarn. And it is Stitch Studio by Nicole in the macaroon family, and it looks like this. Now I will apologize, I have the sunlight from the afternoon sun coming in, so there we go. Now you can see it. And this colorway is actually called macaroon coral. Let me see if you can see that. And I purchased these skeins from AC Moore on September 19th of 2019, and I paid $9.99 a skein, and I had gotten 8 of them. So this was quite an investment, but I am so happy. Okay, so I have worked with, and by the way, let's see, it is a bulky 5, and it has approximately 258 yards in it, which is about 300 grams, and it's a 10.5 ounce skein, and it is 100% polyester. I have worked with this bulky 5 size probably once before only, and it was the same brand. I got them at the same time. In fact, on that particular trip, these skeins were the only ones I got. And I made a blanket using those skeins as well. And you probably can't see them very well. Whoops, dropped my, let me see. Oh, I did really good. Right there. It's like a fern green color. So it has greens. You will be seeing it in the future because I used 6 skeins and made a blanket out of it. And I feel like the blanket is not quite long enough. We do use it in our living room. And so I'm going to take those last 2 skeins and I'm going to make it longer. And so that will be a project that I will be working on very soon. I do know that this yarn does not frog very well. If it did, I would redo that green blanket because I used a J hook with it, and that's a 6mm hook, and it recommends to use a 6.5mm hook, and which is a K in US terms. And so it made a very nice tight blanket. It's very thick, it's very heavy, it's very warm. When I did this one, I decided to go a little bit out of my comfort zone, and I chose to use a bigger hook. So I am using this. Let me see if I can block out that sunlight. Let's see. Oh, there's where the writing is anyway. Let me see if I can help out with this a little bit. Or if it's just the sunlight. Nope, there we go. So it's a 19mm plastic hook. All right. And it's the first time I've ever used anything larger than a 6.5 hook. So I wasn't sure how well I would do with it, and I have fallen in love with it. So let's take a look at my blanket so far. This is what it looks like, and I'm hoping I can come back, yeah, so you can see it enough outside of the sunlight. And I can stand, so I'm going to stand so you can see this blanket. And so it's getting pretty big. I hope you can see the bottom of it. And the stitches are a lot looser than my other one. And perhaps that's the blanket that I will bring to our Wednesday on the Hook, our free crochet time next week. And all I'm doing is half double crochet stitches. So that's what I am going to be doing while we hang out today. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you are safe and healthy. I know there's a lot of things going on around the world. Some good things, some frightening things. Our weather has, had a hard time making up its mind on whether it wants to be warm or cold. Some have been dealing with lots of rain and flooding, and it's just been a difficult time. But I wish and hope and pray that everyone is safe and healthy. So, what are you working on? What is on your hook today? And if you are watching this as a replay, well, everybody will be watching it as a replay. See, I've missed y'all so much that I just feel like I'm talking to you live. You're right here with me, right here and now. And I wish, but not knowing what my future holds and praying that my schedule goes back to the same that it was in the same current job that I have, I am trying to be consistent, and that is why this is not alive. Otherwise, it would definitely be alive. Let me know. What are you working on? And hopefully you are at least setting aside a time for 1 hour, even if you have to do it in 2 sittings, like 30 minutes here and 30 minutes there. I just pray that you're able to take some time to just crochet, to just rest a minute and relax and bring a little bit of yarn joy into your day. Now it looks like I'm going to have to take a minute and unravel some yarn. It looks like it's a little bit tangled right here. So let's see what I need to do. Ah, yes, I see the culprit. And it looks like it is going to be a rather easy fix, which I hope to be true. But yeah, I'm curious to know what you're working on. I'm just so excited to be back making videos and picking up my crochet hook and just seeing things come to life. But I am not, by any means regretful for taking some time off and just focusing on getting better. So I still have a journey, and as of right now, the doctor has said it would probably be June the 1st before he will release me and send me back to work on June the 2nd. And so we're just, praying that that is the case. But if not, I am here for the journey of getting better. So I'm young. I have lots to do, a brand new grandbaby that I want to be able to keep up with. And so I have to heal and get better in order to do that. So I'm going to do what it takes. All right. And I believe that we now have our yarn. Yes. All straightened and worked out. So back to crocheting. All right. Let me see. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to cut the lights out a little bit at the top there. And try and bring my camera down just a little bit so you can actually see what I'm doing. This blanket's getting big, so it's kind of hard to keep in my lap. All right. So I hope you are continuing to tell me what you are working on. I have really come to love this segment just simply because it has encouraged me to, start a new WIP that I can just pick up and work on without really having to worry about having to wait, to do a tutorial on, that I can just pick it up anytime I want to crochet. If I have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, and I can just work on it. And I love that. I love being able to have that as an option. And so this series has really encouraged that. And so again, we talked about this before, but with Yarn Joy Adventures, and you could even be working on your Yarn Joy Adventures project, as we do this series. But just being able to just work on something, no pressure, no stress, of course, hopefully any part of your crocheting is no stress. But for me, sometimes when I'm working on my tutorials, it does get a little stressful because you want to keep going, but you can't because you have to put it on camera. And that is okay, especially now that I eliminated that by starting a project that, I can do whenever I want. And it helps eliminate that. And the reason I said what I said is not because it's frustrating that I'm doing a tutorial for y'all. It's the fact that my home is not always quiet for me to record a video when I need, when I have the time to do it. And so I would have all these projects needing to be worked on, but I couldn't because I needed to videotape. So now I have a project that I can just pick up, especially when I want to crochet, and there's a little bit of noise going on in the home, or the kids are here with the baby. And so because they are still coming about 3-4 days a week, and even though they're here, there's some days I can record, especially when the baby's sleeping. But other times, the dogs are going crazy. There's 3 dogs here during those days, and the house is full of people. So, and everyone's got to go to the restroom. You got to go get something to drink, get something to eat. It's just hard to have complete and total silence for videotaping versus when I am here at the house by myself. So, and I certainly am not going to give up, time with my kids or my grandbaby. So this way I have a project going that I can work on and enjoy life, and sit down and watch a movie with them and be able to work on something while we're watching the movie. So I recommend that you have a project set aside. And if you're not a content creator and you're not working on recording videos, it's always nice to have that one little easy project that you don't really have to think about. Like, I don't have to think about making these half double crochets. I'm just making them. So all I have to do is just go from one end to the other making half double crochets. So there's no thought or rhyme or reason or counting or pattern looking at or watching a tutorial. I can just crochet. And so it's nice to have an easy project like that, or one that you've made so many times that you're familiar with and that you enjoy doing, that you can just do. Okay, so question. What is our question for today? I think we kind of have an interesting question. And this is the thing. I'll be very honest. I look at these questions right before I start recording this video. And the reason I do that is because I don't want to have any thought process as to what my answer is going to be. So I want it to kind of be a fresh question. So I haven't really had an opportunity to think about it. And if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm actually pulling from the skein all of this particular color. So as you could tell, this coral is a variegated. It's got gray, white, peach, and orange in it. And wow, there's a lot of gray. I was trying to pull all the gray out of it, but there's really a lot, so I may have to stop because I don't want it getting tangled. So if I don't go to the next color soon, I am going to stop. But when I'm doing the variegated yarn like this, sometimes I like to pull out. Of course, a lot of times I have my yarn in a bowl or a plastic yarn container or a crochet bag that has the holes through the top, like the one Miss Bree got me. And there we go. And I like to do this so that one, it kind of gives me like a small goal that I can work towards. Now, some variegated yarns, the color changing is rather quick, so you don't get to pull much before you have a new color. And it just felt like I was pulling for quite a long time to get this gray out, but maybe I wasn't. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long it takes me to work up this gray. So let me stop a minute, and I'm going to show you how much yarn is the gray. So this was all gray. So 2 handfuls. And we are about 19 minutes and 45 seconds in. So almost 20 minutes into our video. And so that leaves us 40 minutes left. So let's see how long it takes me to work this gray up. All right. While I'm doing that, let's introduce our question and think about our answers. So the question for today is, if you were a superhero, and I just noticed that the sunlight is right in on my work, so you're probably having a difficult time seeing it. So I do apologize for that, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm enjoying the sunshine. Anytime that I can get it right now, it is just such a blessing because I'm really tired of being cooped up in this house. So, in fact, this past Sunday, which was Easter Sunday, my sweet husband took me to the park for a picnic lunch, and it was really, really nice. I love that. All right, time to turn the blanket. Gotta take the brakes off the wheelchair to back up a minute because this blanket's getting rather huge. And then come back forward, brake so I don't roll. All right, are you ready for the question? The question for today is, if you were a superhero, what would your special powers be? Now, I don't know about you, but if you're a mom or a dad, I feel like as parents, we already have superpowers. I know we definitely wear all kinds of hats, so therefore we require to have several superpower, don't we? All right. If you were a superhero, what is the one power you would have? You can only have one. That makes it hard, but only one. What would your superpower be? So I'm trying to think about all the things I would normally be doing in my normal life, you know. And thinking about that busy schedule. What would my one superpower be? Gosh, this is a good question. Now, I'm not really so much timing myself to see, you know, well, I guess maybe I am. What I started to tell you, when I pull out the variegated yarn, I work on it to try and have kind of like a place to work towards in that one sitting, you know. And usually, as I was saying, with variegated yarns, most of the time the colorway is not very long. So depending on the length of the colorway, I might try to work through, you know, 2 to 4 colors in a sitting if I've got the time. But if not, then, you know, I take advantage of the 10 minutes or the 15 minutes just to relax. But sometimes I like to kind of give myself a goal. Like if I'm watching a TV show, you know, can I get this particular length done within 2 commercials, meaning like, you know, the show and the commercials, set of commercials. And then sometimes, you know, like I'll set, you know, can I do this whole skein in an hour? And it's not a pressure thing. It's not to add any stress. It's just like a fun little goal. I don't really time how fast I crochet or how slow I crochet, because to me that takes the joy out of it. But it's just trying to set a small little goal. Now sometimes I do set some goals that might bring a little bit of stress. For example, you know, I have 2.5 skeins of this yarn left, and can I finish this blanket by the end of the week? You know, can this project be completed by next week? And that is my goal for this project. I do hope to have it finished, so when we come together next week, I can show it to you and have a whole nother project that I'm working on. All right, so have you been thinking about your superpowers? I kind of have something going around in my mind, but I'm thinking it through, because if I only get the chance to have one superpower, what would it be? What would be most important to be able to achieve or make happen? Can you hear our little ladybug ticking? The sun on my face and my hands, and quietness here, the ticking of the ladybug, the hook and the yarn going through my fingers. Oh my gosh, it's so relaxing. I hear the dogs moving around. I have the front door to the screened-in porch. I say screened, it's actually got glass windows that we can open and close, but closed-in porch might be a better description. Open, so the dogs can kind of come and go from the living room to the front porch, and they can also enjoy the sun and listen to the birds and feel the breeze. It's actually a very beautiful day here today. It's been still a little bit cold for us, but it's warming up a little bit during the day yesterday and today. And then last night it got kind of cool still, so having some warm days, but still a couple cool nights. Which I like cool evenings. I just don't like it when it's freezing. And anything below 50 or 60 is still very cold to me. I like having it in the 70s and 80s during the day, and like the mid 60s at night. I do like it to be cooler when I'm sleeping. I just don't like to be cold. But once I warm up and I'm a little snuggly, I like that, but I don't like being hot while I sleep either. All right. thinking about my superpower. And I am coming to the end of the first full complete row since we started. And I have almost one handful of yarn worked out. So probably about another 8 to 10 stitches. And that handful will be done. And we're right at 30 minutes and 53 seconds in, so about 10 minutes so far to work one handful of that yarn. I am still impressed with this large hook, how fast this works up. You know, a lot of times I use baby yarn with those small hooks, you know, the 3.5, 3.75, 4.0 hooks, and it just seems to take a long time. It has impressed me how quickly this blanket has worked up. So it is definitely something I would like to do in the future. And I'm sure, because I know there's still bulky yarns out there, I will do. I just don't know that it'll be this, you know, Stitch by Nicole Studio, since AC Moore is no longer around. I know that this was a yarn that was particular to them, but I'm pretty sure somebody told me on a live not too long ago that Joann's, I think, or Hobby Lobby, I think it was Joann's, sells this yarn, or Hirschner's, or somebody. So I'll just have to look it up. And I'm about to finish that one handful that I had. So maybe the gray is all that I will get done during our time together. And some days I do find I do have carpal tunnel in my left hand, so some days it acts up and I cannot crochet. But my husband got me this roll-on stuff that's got lidocaine in it, and it seems to help. It numbs that muscle area and kind of gives me some relief, and it's got like a lavender in it, so it smells like lavender. So it's pretty cool. It's not like really stinky. You know how some of those medicated type creams and stuff have like a stinky mentholy smell to it? This doesn't, which is huge for me because I can smell above everything else. Poor eyesight, poor hearing, although they say my hearing's quite good, but anyway, I can smell, and so scents are very, very big to me. And you know, some of them I'm sensitive to, and others, you know, I'm not. But I like this little lavender fragrance that this little roll-on has, and I love the fact that it helps a lot with my hand, so that's good. All right, well, I'm going to sit here and crochet for just a minute and think again about my question, because I'm still kind of stuck on the one answer in my head. And not that our superpowers are going to come to us, not that we're going to be granted them, but I want to decipher if that would be my best answer. So I encourage you to just relax and enjoy the quiet and crochet and think about the answer to what your superpower would be, and then in just a few minutes I will go ahead and tell you what I think my answer would be. Ooh, I just realized you can't even see me. That sun has gotten so bright. So let me fix that. Okay, much better. I don't think I came back to my right spot here. Let's see. There we go. All right. Much better. I will get some more sunshine in a little bit because when my husband comes home later today, we are planning to go for a little walk. And if he's too tired, because I've been sitting around all day, then we'll just sit outside in the swing or in the chairs and enjoy some sunshine that way. So I'm back to giving myself a few minutes to think about my answer. I'm already coming up to almost the end of this row. I would have thought because of the carpal tunnel and arthritis that I have in my hands that using this big old hook would, make it hurt more, but actually it doesn't. Not any more than it normally would. In fact, I think it's almost less because with the smaller hooks, I tend to grip the project a little bit tighter. And with this bigger hook and the bigger yarn even, I feel like I have a looser tension and a looser grip. So I feel like it actually helps the hand using the bigger hook. All right, time to turn again. And I'm right about 20 minutes in since I pulled all that yarn out, and so let me show you how much I have left from those 2 handfuls. So just this little bit. So we're coming along pretty good. So I'm definitely confident that I will finish the gray during our little time today. All right. Well, I'm not really thinking of anything different. I'm still stuck on the one answer that came to my mind rather quickly. So I think I'm just going to go with it as my answer, because I mean, I can think of other things, but it would only benefit like in a moment here or there. It wouldn't be something that would make a significant difference that would make it worthy of being, you know, a superpower, so to speak. So if I were a superhero and I was only given the ability to have one superpower, I think I would want my superpower to be the ability to freeze time. Because that way, for example, if I'm working on this project and I've set aside an hour of time because that's all I had, and I was close to finishing the skein, or in this case I only really probably will get to work one color, and I really wanted to work a little bit of that white, I could freeze time. Or let's say my granddaughter comes over and she's visiting and we're having a really great time, but I have to stop and start getting ready for work. Then I could freeze time and spend a little bit more time with her. Because having the superpower, I can freeze time, but time where I'm at would currently keep going, but it would be the same time. So let's say I froze time at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. We would still, wherever I am in the current situation I'm in, for example, spending time with my granddaughter, we would keep moving, but it would stay and remain 4 p.m. Sun outshining, daylight. And then I could unfreeze it and get ready for work and go to work. Or she is going to be in a play and I have to work that night. Then I could freeze time and go to the play and then still go into work. If someone I love gets sick, I could freeze time and allow them to heal and recover without missing a beat, without missing work, without facing financial difficulty. If I am facing a financial burden, I could freeze time and allow me the opportunity to figure out the best way to go forward rather than rushing into a decision, which biblically we're not supposed to do, but that's what I think I would want my superpower to be. I kind of was contemplating being able to kind of morph from one place to another, like, you know, I could just pop over to Arizona and visit with my Marine son a minute and then be back home for dinner. But all of those are just kind of temporary moments, you know, where freezing time would give me more quality. But I'm also glad that I don't have that superpower or the ability to control or manipulate something, because I do wholeheartedly believe in trusting God and trusting Him with my future. And He designed 24 hours in a day, thinking that that was more than enough for us. And if it wasn't, well, too doggone bad, because we just need to stop and rest. And His philosophy is good, because without the 24 hours, I don't think sometimes I would know when to stop. Because I can kind of be stubborn about time. And He designed our bodies and time to coincide together, and so that's what helps to make our existence and keep us strong and healthy. And then I thought about too, you know, controlling the weather. But I do like the rain. I love the sound of it. I love the smell of it. I love to sleep while it's raining. So I would never not want to have it. Snow, I like to see snow. I love to watch it fall. Voila, I started the white. But I would not want massive amounts of it. But again, all of that is temporary, because the seasons will come and take care of things. So if I could freeze time, you know, we could freeze it and we could stop floods. We could build a dam while it's frozen. If snow is posing a threat, we can, you know, do things to avoid an avalanche. Or we can prepare roads and stuff to keep it from icing over and, you know, causing wrecks. But once again, while it would be nice to have that superpower and being able to manipulate time, I'm so glad that I don't have that personally. I'm not knocking you if you come up with your superpower and you really wish it could happen. All I can say is pray about it. But I'm glad that we have the seasons and they come and go as they do. And I'm glad we have, you know, the time of the 24 hours in a day and so forth. Because it makes us stop and evaluate what's important and what needs to be done. Because if time could be froze, I could see my son asking me to stop time all the time so he could just continuously play his video games. And there's a time for that. It's called retirement, which my husband desperately wishes would come to him sooner than later, but unfortunately, we both still have about 14, 15 years before that will happen. So, or longer, but yes, we just have to manage our time wisely and make the most of it count. And so that is why I decided to turn Wednesday on the hooks into a 1 hour crochet day. So I am looking forward to seeing what you have chosen for your superpower. I can tell traffic's picking up a little bit in front of my house. I hear people talking out on the road. I hear horns honking. Well, I definitely hope I get a couple more free hours throughout the rest of this week so that when we do come together next week that I will have this blanket finished. I tell you, everyone in my family who has watched me work on this blanket so far, my husband, my youngest son, they are all in love with it. And I have to admit, it's very soft and plush. I would love to make a big pillow and put a cover like this over it. Oh. But if I did that, I would use a little bit smaller hook so that it would be, you know, less airy. Well, I'm excited I got to get on the white. I didn't think I was going to. I thought that I would only maybe get through to the gray. So this is cool that I have been able to play a little bit into the white today. And so I had probably about 20 stitches done out of this skein before we started today. And we've made a pretty good dent. I can see you. So I am pleased. my youngest son is supposed to be coming over later tonight to watch a movie with my husband and I, so maybe, just maybe, I might get to finish most of this blanket during that movie. I do normally enjoy watching a movie or listening to music while I'm crocheting, but I have to tell y'all, I kind of like the quiet. Isn't it nice? It's just so relaxing. I hope you could hear me. I said it's just so relaxing. And with this stitch, I am going to finish this row. Yeah, it's kind of soothing, the quiet and listening to that timer tick. Isn't that pretty? I am so happy and relaxed. Well, I definitely found some joy right here. Next week I will, in the beginning of this video, I will share some of your answers. I haven't been doing that in the past when I ask questions, but I will share your answer. So yeah, be sure and leave me an answer, and then next week I will mention you and your answer. So, and if you're a content creator, please be sure and leave me a response. And if you do, I will be sure to leave your link in the description box for other people to go on and check out your channel. So that will also help get you some great exposure. I was going to pull this white out, but I'm not sure just how much more time we have, so I know we have to be getting close, so I'm not going to do that. But I will grab a yarn bowl when I take this to the living room tonight to work on during our movie, our family movie. My son has worked Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday night, and then this is his first night off in several days, so that's why he's coming over in the middle of the week. But that's okay. I will take a Wednesday night. Especially since he's given it to Todd and I, because most of the time he prefers to get online and play videos with his friends, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's 22, so That's what they do at that age. And I think while this video is processing, I may work a little bit more on this blanket and turn on some videos from some of my favorite content creators who have videos that I need to watch. So I will get to watch some videos on YouTube on a Wednesday, because normally I try to do that on Fridays. So that's cool because I have a lot to watch. I'm a little bit behind. And I don't want my friends to think I don't care and that I am ignoring them, because I'm not. Because they are very important to me. As are all of you. And again, I am so happy to be back on schedule and spending time with you again. Whew, that scared me. Oh, that means our hour is up. Well, I was about to say, if you are a content creator and if you have anything special coming up on your channel, please be sure and leave it in the comment section. That way everybody can read it, and I will also announce it on my Cup to Hook Conversations live on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, South Carolina time. And I will include your link during that video as well if you have something you want me to mention. All right. Well, you guys, our time is up. See, if I could freeze time, I would at least freeze it enough to finish out that little bit of row with you. You know what? I do have some time. You may not. You may have to stick to the hour. And if that's the case, go ahead. But I'm going to just, for this one time, use my superpower. And even though it's not technically freezing time, I am going to finish off this last little bit of this row in this video. But if you have to go ahead and wrap it up, I certainly understand. I thank you for stopping by and spending time with me today and resting and relaxing and crocheting. And if you're waiting till you have free time and you're just watching this video at your own time or in segments, then I hope that you are also relaxing and resting and working on the project of your choice. And look at that, I'm almost done with this row. And so that won't take us over too long. I might have added a couple extra minutes to our time when I paused it to close the curtains. And I bumped the clock back just a second to try and make up for lost time. Okay, we're getting down to the end here. And it looks like I have one stitch left. And there we go. Not bad. I completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. Actually, 5.5, because I forgot. I had started with a little bit of gray, and you can see, oh, where'd it go? Well, I don't see it now. Oh, right there. There it is, right there. So 5.5 rows, not bad. I'm happy. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out with me on Wednesday on the Hook, where we just crochet 1 free hour of whatever we want. I hope that you have enjoyed your time with me. I know I've enjoyed my time with you. I look forward to reading all of your answers about if you were a superhero, what would your one superpower be? And again, if you leave comments in the comment section, I will share them next Wednesday. And if you're a content creator, I will also drop your link in the description box of next week's video so that hopefully folks will come over and throw some yarn in your window and subscribe to your channel if they've not already done so. I love you guys. Take care. Have an amazing week. And if you can find more than 1 hour to crochet, I say just do it. I love you. Be joyful. Stay crafty in your own way. Make your own joyful creations. And I will see you again next Wednesday. Bye.